Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you with us for the webcast today. Looking forward to presenting all of this information this afternoon and really putting this all together for you about your LinkedIn profile. So we're going to give just a minute or so for letting people log in, because I know what it's like. Everybody's rushing around, grabbing cups of tea and doing all of those things. Everybody's scrambling around looking for the link, making sure they're all logged in. So we'll just give a minute to let people do that. Let's get everybody settled. Then we'll begin the session. While that's happening, do me a favor, drop where you're watching from in the chat, and let's have a look at where everybody's coming from. The challenge, as always, I always look for this, we normally get all 5 continents represented right across. So we'll have people from the US, we'll have people from Europe, people across in Asia and Africa and all of that. So I'm looking forward to it. So let me know where you're watching from today, and I'll keep a lookout in the chat. I'm not going to mention you all by name and welcome you because the numbers are going up pretty quick that are joining. But I hope that you have come today wanting to learn how to put your profile together in such a way that you attract attention from the right audience. So whether you're in the area of sales, whether you're looking to be a leading thinker, whether you're looking to be recruited, whatever it may be, you need a good LinkedIn profile. And that's what I'm going to cover today and walk you through all the different elements and different steps so that you can walk away after this, do all the work that you need to do and make sure you're getting the most from LinkedIn. I can see a lot of people there. Oh, so we've got the Philippines represented, we've got the UK, we've got India, Poland, USA, Durham in UK. As you can probably hear, well, who's that from Durham? Catherine. As you can probably hear in my accent, I'm from that originally from that area of the UK. Hi, we got Aiden, Peterborough, Tampa, Florida as well. I drove through Tampa a long time ago. Didn't actually stop, kept going. Who else have we got? We've got London. There's lots of people from London. Brazil and Argentina. Wow, we really are covering around the world today. This is one of the great opportunities that you have online, is that we can connect with people right around the world. LinkedIn is a fantastic environment for this, bringing people together who normally wouldn't get the opportunity to bump into each other and have conversations. And what we're going to do today, and I'll show you through your LinkedIn profile, will help you have more of those conversations with individuals who could be absolutely anywhere in the world right now. So I think everybody's with us now. There might be one or two joining us. I just mentioned there was at Kosovo and Dubai, Woking in Kent in the UK, Nairobi in Kenya, Barcelona as well, even good old Bristol, Saxony and France. Excellent. So let's make a start. Okay, so hopefully you're in the right place, looking at the screen, how to make a great LinkedIn profile. That's why you're here, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. Before I go any further, and normally we don't do this at Maverick, I don't push and sell anything. This is not the idea of bringing you here. I want to deliver stuff that you can use. But I want to mention one thing, just because on the 23rd of March, we have an opportunity for you to spend 3.5 hours with the team at Maverick, where we are going to go through everything you need to know about LinkedIn. How to go, if it's from a sales perspective, how to go from total stranger to becoming some prospect's new friend and you're talking about business deals, how to become that leading thinker, whatever it may be. We call the course Win Your Next Client on LinkedIn. And this has been our flagship course for many years. And so we've decided to put this on as a virtual course on the 23rd of March. Somebody should be dropping the link in the chat if you want to go and check it out. But if you are taking LinkedIn serious and you're looking at and think, I really want to get the most from this platform, I can't encourage you enough to come and book in for this 3.5 hours that will transform what you do on LinkedIn. That's the end of the advert. I'll put that up at the end just so you can see it. But that's the end of the advert. No more selling from me at all. That's it, all done. I promise. Okay, so let's move into the presentation. Let's move into talking about your LinkedIn profile. And the first thing that I want to cover is why use LinkedIn? Why use this platform? Well, number one, for me is that it's voted the most trusted social media platform. Of all the platforms, the Facebooks, Instagrams, Twitters, all of those, this is the most trusted platform, mainly because we've got normally the majority of people on here are educated, degree level and above. We're talking to people in senior roles as well. People are here for business reasons. It's not just a social like we have Facebook. And so what we end up is a platform that has a trusted environment, a trusted bunch of people. And I love it for that. There's over 100 million new users joined this platform in 2021. Of course, a lot of that was driven by the pandemic and everything that was going on. But it really has grown in a phenomenal way. The year before that, if you wanted a comparison, it was 62 million. So you see the jump and the acceleration that LinkedIn is going through at the moment. Currently, we've got over 800 million users globally. That's a huge amount of people. If you're here for business reasons, you want to make an impact, you want to make networks, there are people just waiting to have conversations with you. So, and why use LinkedIn? Well, you can be here because of recruitment reasons. You are recruiting or looking to be recruited. You're looking to sell your products and services here, and you could be looking to network with individuals or become that leading voice is another option as well. People approach LinkedIn for very different reasons, but whatever those reasons are, something sits right in the middle of all of that, and that is your LinkedIn profile. So why is a LinkedIn profile important? Well, this is from a survey that we did last year, where we did a big survey across LinkedIn. 62% of people responded by saying that they will vet a profile before they choose to engage, before they want to get involved with an individual. So if you want people to come and engage with you, you have to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is ready, that you're delivering the right information, the right imagery, all of that is there in your profile, that when you send those connection requests, when you doing the liking and the commenting on people's posts, whatever it may, you click the follow button, you're sending direct messages, people are going to see your face, see your name, they may not remember who you are, and they're going to click and come through to your profile. They will then make an assessment. What they see on your profile will help them to decide, do I want to respond? Do I want to engage with this individual? So you want to make sure that all the odds are in your favor, that your profile is doing exactly what it should be doing. So let's cover just some points. Why is it important to optimize your LinkedIn profile? As you can see, very simply, I put up a very simple comparison. What is good and what is bad? A bad profile is going to limit your profile views. This is the amount of opportunities you have of people coming and checking out your profile. It's going to limit. How does it limit? Well, when there's things missing in your profile, it means, or it says to people that you're not serious about LinkedIn, you may be a dormant account, and so they just take one look and they move away. They don't actually engage with you. It'll hinder your search appearances. So people are searching LinkedIn for individuals, for skill sets, whatever it may be, particularly if you're looking to be recruited on this platform or you're looking for your next role. The people hiring, the people recruiting are searching all the time. You want to make sure that you appear in those. You want to be increasing your search appearances, not hindering search appearances. The other thing it'll do, a bad profile will stagnate your connection growth. Of course, you want to build a good, healthy network. These are the people you can engage with, have conversations with, networking, sales, whatever it may be, but you want to be building it. You want to be increasing those connections, and a good profile will help you do that. The other thing that a bad profile will do is damage your brand. You might do great work putting out great content on the platform, but if your profile is not in good shape, when they come and arrive, suddenly they get a different picture. The image or the perception you put out through your content could be one thing, but your profile says something else. You want to make sure that everything is up to date, everything is doing that, so that you actually end up increasing your brand awareness as people visit your profile multiple times. It will undermine your credibility. That is probably one of the biggest things. A bad profile will undermine your credibility. That when you start talking about things, that if your profile isn't set up well, if the information isn't there, it says something about you. What we want is to increase your credibility. When somebody bumps into you on LinkedIn and they think, hey, this would be great to have a conversation with this individual, they're now on your profile. As we said, 62% of people will come and check you out. Those 62% of people are going through that process of, do I want to talk with this individual? And when they come, your profile should be educating them who you are and what you do. They suddenly get a bigger picture rather than what they just saw in your content. They're now seeing it on your profile, and now they're thinking, this person might be interesting to have a conversation with. And so your credibility will rise. So we're going to look at all the various ways that we can make a good profile work for us, how we can avoid all of the bad things that you can do. And I'll mention some of the bad cases, and hopefully I'll be able to steer you away for some common mistakes that are made. So let me grab a drink quickly. How does your LinkedIn profile work for you? Well, simply put, whatever you do on LinkedIn, so whether that be viewing somebody's profile, whether, oh, okay, I thought we just lost our screen just for a second, but I think we're back. Just forgive us there, we had a little technical glitch there. The screens went black in front of me. Oh, they've done it again. So someone from our team is going to try and sort that out. I'm going to keep going. Hopefully nothing's going to go wrong here. Just to say, if I lose you, we will just stay where you are. We'll come back as soon as possible. But let me just say, I've thrown myself now. Right, whatever you're doing on LinkedIn, whether you're following somebody's profile, whether you're visiting somebody's profile, you're liking their content, you're commenting, resharing, you might be hitting the follow button, sending a connection request, sending them a direct message. 3 things are going to follow you around LinkedIn. That's your profile picture, that's your name, and your headline, that bit that sits under your name. Those 3 elements are going to follow you around LinkedIn. So you want to make sure, particularly those 3 areas, are in good shape and delivering information about who you are and what you do. And it's a message that will be repeated over and over again as they see you interacting with their profile. So this is something that I say when I do these sessions is, don't think of your LinkedIn profile just as that space where I must put something in about me. It's more than that. Think of it as if it was your personal website. If it's your personal website, you start to think about, what's the message that I deliver when somebody lands on my website? The whole purpose of a website or a web page is that people will come and they will visit it and it will deliver information. Helps them find out about you, your products and services. That's why a website exists. And that's exactly the same for your LinkedIn profile. When people visit it and drop into it and take a look at it, you want to make sure you're delivering a message that becomes memorable, you stick in the mind, and everything is good. So, what makes a good profile? Well, before you even get there, before we even talk about any of those, there is a decision you must make. Because when you registered on LinkedIn, you'll have been given the standard default profile. And that's probably what most of you have. If you haven't, you can turn on what's called creator mode. Where do you find creator mode? If you go to your profile, just go down and you look in the, I'm remembering now, it used to be called the dashboard section. It's the resources section now in the new updated profiles. You'll see creator mode. Turning it on is very simple. You click on the word creator mode, it will then open up another screen and you get to fill in a couple of boxes, and then you have to put in 5 hashtags of what are the things that you talk about. Basically the headlines, the topics that you focus on. That just tells people who are looking at your profile, considering to follow or connect with you, what it is that you talk about, what it is that you focus on. So turn creator mode on. Now, what is the benefit of creator mode? Well, as you can see on the screen, it will give you access to LinkedIn Live. So if you're brave enough, you can get your camera out and you can get yourself live and up on LinkedIn Live. You might have seen a number of people doing LinkedIn Lives in recent months. You can also get access to newsletters. Newsletters are very popular right now. It's a great way of gathering an audience that are all coming and subscribing to your newsletter because of particular topics or industry sectors, things that you talk about that are of interest to them. So when you publish a newsletter, an article in your newsletter, it gets presented to each of those individuals. So I started one about 3 weeks ago. It's a great opportunity. I think I've got around about 6,500 people subscribing to that newsletter. Little plug, if you want to come and follow me, come and subscribe, find my profile. But it gives me an opportunity to just bring value to my audience on a regular basis. So you get newsletters. You also get access to a wider audience. Through the tests that we've done where you turn creator mode on and off, in general terms, I'm looking at about 1,000 to 1,500 extra views on my content when creator mode is on. Now, I've got a large network. If your network is under 1,000, it can be the difference of maybe 100 to 300 views. Now, if you're putting any content out on LinkedIn, of course, every set of eyeballs that look at your content is valuable. So it's worth turning on just to get access to a larger audience. You'll also maybe suggested as a creator to follow by the LinkedIn team. They do this quite randomly. This is somebody of interest. The topics they're talking about maybe of interest to you, and they present that opportunity to people who have similar interests. And so you can build up your connection base and the number of people who follow you simply by being featured by them. There's a whole list of other features yet to come this year, and we're expecting late spring, early summer to see a number of those things starting to roll out. So if you haven't, I encourage you, turn on creator mode. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned, which I normally do right at the beginning, is if you've got any questions, please drop them in the chat. I can see the chat over here on my right-hand side. I'll do my best to answer any questions as they come up, so feel free, put your questions in the chat as we're going, and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. Okay, so let's start looking at the profile. I'm going to start looking at the different elements of the profile and breaking it down. In a second, I'm going to actually go into live LinkedIn to show you some stuff. But I wanted to start with this image because when I'm presenting my own profile, you won't be able to see all of the elements. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is this area here. This is the header image. The cardinal sin on LinkedIn is if this is just the default blue background that LinkedIn gives you when you first sign up. If that's all that you've got, you will find you're actually turning people away from engaging with you because they see it as potentially this is a dormant account. This account hasn't been used in a long time, so why would I connect with the individual? So make sure you've got some imagery in here. If you're marketing yourself or your company and products, then the minimum you want in here is some of your company branding, your business branding in there, and the name of the company. For me, I've got very simple, quite a plain background, making the statement about who we are, our website's here, our company logo and name, and then our Trustpilot rating is just at the top. It's a very simple header. When we go to live, you'll see a different version that I've currently updated and we're using. But use the space. When people come to your profile, generally this is the first place that their eyes are drawn to. This is what they're looking at. So you want to make sure that what is there delivers a message or at least tells people the name of the company. You want to be memorable. Remember, people are going to be doing this, moving around various profiles. You want to be the profile that's remembered. You want people to remember your name, the company, what you do. So let's get that in good shape. Once we move away from the header, we move then into the profile picture here. Now, I've seen many, and you probably have as well, examples of good and bad profile pictures. Probably the worst profile picture I ever saw, and probably one of the funniest, was a gentleman who was a CEO in a FTSE 100 company, and I won't mention the name of the company, I wouldn't like to embarrass him. We were doing some work with him, and he was quite proud of his profile picture, which was him on holiday, holding a cocktail, holding it up to the camera in sort of celebration, with a big smile. But the problem was he was sitting in a lounger chair, and he was a rather large gentleman in a rather skimpy, budgie smuggler swimming trunks. Wasn't the best first impression you'd probably want to give a prospect. Thankfully, he saw the funny side of it and has updated it. But that's just an example. I see other bad examples. People who are proud to put up a holiday snap. One of the examples I remember is somebody at Niagara Falls. who, fantastic picture of Niagara Falls, but they were like a pin dot on the picture. Even if you blew the picture up, you couldn't make out their facial features. They were that small in the picture. What's the point of that? We are here to connect with people. So let them see you, see your face. It's the first opportunity that they start to warm towards you. It's the start of the relationship. And it's also, don't forget that even in digital spaces, first impressions count. So here's general advice about your profile picture. Make sure that your face fits 50% of the frame area. As nice and as filled in there. Your face is well lit when you've had that picture taken. Try and avoid any distracting backgrounds. I see people who have all sorts of going on. They've cropped their picture out from, obviously they've been at a party or a wedding or even Christmas, things like that. Try to avoid that. Keep the background quite neutral, not distracting. It's you they want to be focusing on, not what's going on behind you. And you don't need to get professional pictures taken. I get asked this all the time. Should we get proper professional headshots done? It's not required. Every smartphone these days has a camera on that is more than capable of taking a good quality picture of you that you can put on your profile. My only advice is don't be tempted to do the selfie because you end up with the horrible shoulder shape in the picture. Just get somebody, a colleague, a friend, a relative, just to take a nice picture of you, well lit, maybe stand in front of a window, natural light on you, warm smile, look down the camera as if you're looking at the individual and be warm and inviting. Get that picture then up there. Now, let me just go to live LinkedIn because I want to show you something about the profile picture. And let me just slip into my profile. There we go. So this is my current profile. This is my header that is there at the moment. This is what we're looking at. Now, you might have noticed when I came in there, and let me just refresh the page. Just watch here what happens. As it refreshes and comes in, something happens to the profile picture. There's a very, that's typical, isn't it? Oh, there he goes. It's actually running now. There's a very short video clip that runs. This is one of the features that LinkedIn gives you. If I click on my profile picture, there you go. It's called the cover story. If I click on that, it'll take it to there. This is just a very simple video created by one of our team here at Maverick that just markets basically who we are or what we're doing, which is we help people come away from cold calling and get involved in social selling, which inevitably ends up securing more meetings and more engagements. And it's very simple. The purpose of the cover story is simple. It's to make you memorable. I've seen it used in a number of different ways. One of the creative ways was somebody who had a piece of music playing like a soundtrack, and they were using the cards with text on, and they would just drop the card and then next text, and it basically said what they did in a very creative way. And here I am talking about it, and they become memorable by doing that. Other people I've seen literally prop up the phone camera, and they'll record a 10 or 20 seconds of them actually talking to the camera, telling people what it is that they do. So think about how to use that. You've got that facility, you do a short video, upload it in there, go and play an experiment with it, but make yourself memorable by using that opportunity. Okay, so with the header in place, and as I mentioned, I have a different header than the example I showed. This one's got a lot more in it, talks about the weekly webcasts, which obviously you're here watching today. Statements across the top, and just very simple statements in the middle, and it's telling people a lot of information in a short space or in a tight space. But people coming to my profile, this is what they see first. I want them to remember, win more clients and raise your prices. That's what I want them to remember. That's what a lot of people are looking for. This is what we target. This is where we focus our efforts. And so I want people to remember that about what I do and who we are as a company. Profile pictures there. Now, I just want to mention the name field here. I'm a great example of this. My full Sunday name is Terence Paul Heath. You know, the name your mother calls you when you're in trouble on a Sunday, it's Terence Paul Heath. And so if I came to LinkedIn and I put in my full title, that's what's on my birth certificate, and I put that in, Terence Paul Heath. But everywhere I go, I introduce myself as Terry. Everybody knows me as Terry. In fact, if I was ever to introduce myself as Terence, they'd look at me strangely and go, what? Never heard that before, because everybody knows me as Terry. But the problem is, if I put my full birth name on there, when they come to LinkedIn, what will they type in to search for, to find me? They'll type in Terry Heath, and they're going to find it hard to find me, because that's not how I recorded myself on LinkedIn. Simple advice, if you're a Christopher, and everyone knows you as Chris, it's Chris and then whatever the surname is. If you're an Elizabeth and everyone knows you as Liz, it's Liz and whatever the surname is. Make it as easy as possible for people to find you on LinkedIn. Don't frustrate that searching process. Other tips as well, avoid putting after your name the letters of your qualifications. It's not required, that's below in your experience section anyway. But again, all you're doing is complicating the search. And my pet hate are the people who put emojis after their name. They think, oh, this will help me stand out on LinkedIn, helps me get noticed. It might, but the bigger issue is that you've just complicated the search option by putting in non-searchable characters. I've seen rockets and stars and all sorts of things, even unicorns, put in after people's names because they want to get noticed. Don't do it. Keep yourself simple. You'll find that people will find you much quicker that way. Then underneath that, we have the field that we call the headline. In this headline space, most people will just put their job title and then the name of the company. And that's it. It's a missed opportunity. If you remember a little earlier, I said there are 3 things that follow you around LinkedIn. Go and have a look on your own in your notifications where you're looking and what other people are doing, and you'll see this. This picture, your name, and this headline will follow you around LinkedIn. So you want a statement in here that says who you are or what it is that you do to help people. It's a statement that becomes memorable. It's a statement that will be seen time and time again as you're interacting with people's profiles and content. They're going to see you show up. Every time you visit a profile, you show up on their profile. Every time you like, you show up again. Every time you comment, you show up again. Every time you hit the follow button, you show up again. So you could have 4 entries in their notification feed. Each time it's face, name, start of the headline. Face, name, start of the headline, every time. And so purely by the laws of advertising, what you're doing is repeat, 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 repeat. And you want to do that. But make sure what they're reading says something about you. If you're looking to market yourself or your company, try and think of what is that one short, concise sentence that tells people what you do or how you help somebody. Now that's a bit of a challenge, I know, and you're probably thinking, how do I sum up in one short, snappy little sentence what I actually do? But it's worth putting the time into that and putting the effort into that because it can make the statement. If you're here and you're thinking, I need to get my profile in good condition, in good shape to be recruited, I want future employees to find me, tell them in there, what are those things that you do well? What are those things that you excel at that an employer would be looking for? Think about those things and get that into there. So you want to be making sure you've got a good header image there. That's the minimum I would recommend. If it's from a company perspective, you've got the company branding color, the company logo on there, maybe the website is advertised, so it's more memorable. If you can go further than that, or you've got a graphics team that can get a bit creative, create something that says something about who you are and what you do. Make it a statement that people will remember. Then we want our profile picture. We want it nice, clean, it's us. One thing I didn't mention about the profile picture is avoid photoshopping your picture. It's such a temptation, I see this on LinkedIn all the time, that people will make themselves look 20 years younger, maybe 20 pounds lighter. Just be you, because what will happen, and I've had this experience, you meet somebody on LinkedIn, you know them by their profile picture, then you jump onto the video call, and the video starts up, and suddenly you have that intake of breath of, they look nothing like their profile picture because they're much older or it's been slimmed down or whatever's happened to it. Just be you, let it be real, and let people engage with who you are rather than this fake impression of who you might be. We want our name, as people know us, and then our headline. Get those things in order. They are the key things. Just another note about the headline. is this is one of the fields where the SEO factors come in. So you want keywords and phrases in there that people will be searching for on this platform, and they will find you because of the keywords are actually shown in there. So for me, the example would be, of course, I talk a lot about social selling. Anybody looking for social selling, particularly training and consultancy, those words are there. So if someone is looking for social selling training, those words are going to bring them to my profile. Proven effective social selling strategies. And so I'm putting information in there that people will find when they're searching, will hopefully find my profile for the areas I know I can provide and deliver in. Okay, so just working down the profile now. Let me just move down the page. I'll come back to the analytics, but I want to mention the featured section here. The featured section is an underused area of the LinkedIn profile. Very often I find when we're doing consultation work with whether it be CEOs or individuals, whether it's for recruitment or whether it's people looking to promote and sell their products and services, this isn't being used. To activate it is really, really simple. As you'll see as I came down the page there, go into this section called Add Profile, go down to Recommended, and it sits there. It's grayed out on mine because it's already active. Oops, I'm just clicking on. Let me just go back. Too many clicks. Here we go. And so get that active on your profile. Now, why is it important? Well, this area is like your shop window. It's where people can come and see a snapshot of the things that you do or the achievements that you've had or the types of clients that you work with, all of those sort of things. So here, just for an example, I've got the newsletter that I launched about 3 weeks ago. That's first and foremost on the front. I'm looking for people to subscribe to that. The next one, the Fundamentals of LinkedIn, is a digital course all about LinkedIn. The next one is Velocity, which is a corporate program, a training and coaching program that we run for corporate clients. But I've got many others, and let me just flick across there. We've got our accelerator, our CPD, but if I click in and show you all the featured, I've got 11 items actually in there, and you can just scroll down them. What I'm doing right now is exactly what individuals will do on your profile when they see that featured section. What catches their attention in there, they'll click in and they'll go and check it out. So you could be using this for examples how I've seen this used. I was doing some training with some university students who are due to graduate this year that are working, that are doing arts degrees. And I said, you know, this is a great way to profile your artwork, all of your designs, all of that stuff that you're doing. You put it up so future employers can see the level of your work, the expertise that you have, the sort of elements or the type of art that you're involved in. They put them up. So each one is an example of their work. I've seen this used where there'll be product sheets, like info sheets for a product. There's another client that I know uses this. They'll have, each one is a different case study of how they worked with the client, what the problem was, how they identified the problem, their approach, how they delivered, and the outcomes. All of that sort of information helps build a picture of who you are, what you've done in the past, and helps people who are visiting your profile to make a decision, should I engage with this person, hopefully get to that decision a lot quicker. Types of content that you can put in here, you can upload video, you can upload articles, you can upload your PDFs, you can put in links to your websites, to landing pages, to videos on YouTube and Vimeo, platforms like that. What else can we put up? We can put up, if you've had a LinkedIn post that's gone really, really well and created a conversation around a certain topic, you could put that up and profile that in there as well. The featured section has a lot of options, so let's use it wisely. Let's make sure it's available for people to engage with, and they will find out more about you as they go through that information. Okay, now let me just move down the profile a little bit. I keep clicking the screen. I should have brought my mouse today. And I just want to move down into the About section. Now, the About section that you see here, I have chosen for myself here, if I just center it better in the page, that I talk about the company first, then I talk about myself. That's absolutely your choice. And depending how you're using your profile, you might have nothing about a company right now, particularly if you're looking to change roles or jobs, then that might not be relevant for you. But if I'm looking to sell the products and services that we provide, then I'm talking about the company first, then I talk about myself. Hopefully one of the things that's standing out to you is the way that this is laid out. It's purposely laid out with line spacing. What you will find on all social media platforms, if you put together text-heavy, big paragraphs, people won't engage with that. There's a process on social media that when people engage with it, they have short attention span. We all do this. So where you see paragraphs of 4, 5, 6, 7 lines long, we scan read as human beings. So we take one glance at it and then we make an assessment. And what happens with the paragraph, so let's say, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of text there. People have to make that very quick mental assessment. Do I want to actually focus and track the lines down? Invariably what happens on social media is they say, no, I don't want to, I can't be bothered, and they move on to somebody else's profile or into someone else's content, and so you lost them. I purposely space this out. Use line spacing, very simple. Be very concise and succinct about the information that you put in there. You want to deliver very directly. Don't get into waffling. You don't want a War and Peace novel in your About section because people just will not stay there long enough to read it all. Get to the point, give them the headlines in here, talk about yourself. I've used these emojis just to denote achievements on each line, and that's as much. I've seen people overuse the emojis and faces and again unicorns, all sorts in here. Unless you're in the entertainment industry or a comedian or a children's entertainer or something like that, it makes your profile look a little bit childish and unprofessional. So stick with something that's very easy to engage with, that communicates who you are and delivers the information. What is in here should inform a person visiting your profile who you are, something about your experience and your achievements. Help them to build up that story, that picture of who you are, where you've been, what you've done, what you've achieved. It all helps them go through that process. Do I want to have a conversation in the future with this individual? Do I want to connect with them? And so let's get that done. This is in another area though, where SEO factor comes in. And so you want keywords represented in here, just like I mentioned in the headline above. You'll notice, again, keywords in here. Small business pioneers, not a phrase I would normally use, but that's a good example. Is quite recently we found through the Google Analytics on searches that this was a phrase that is popping up quite a lot. So I've actually dropped it into my About section so that I am being found by the individuals who are using that phrase in searches. And so think about what's in there. Think about what's going on. Now let me show you something where you can use information that's available on the profile to tell you how your profile is actually performing. If you come up to your analytics, the analytics side here, there are 3 fields in here. The first field is the profile views. These are the individuals who have visited, who have viewed your profile. Next are the post views that you're getting, and next are the search appearances. These are the individuals that are doing searches predominantly through Sales Navigator and are finding you for whatever criteria they're using. I'm going to click into this one and just show you something on here. Now, what you'll see on screen, not all of you will have this. I have a subscription with Sales Navigator package, and so I get access to more information than you would if you're just on the free version. But what I want to point out is everybody gets to see this. As long as you've had, I think it's at least 100 people visiting your profile, then it generates a graph. Anything under that, if you're seeing just a flat line, it's because there's nobody regularly coming to your profile. You need to work on that. But once you get the graph, it tracks then the individuals on the weeks and days as they're visiting. So for me, what you see, these peaks, these are my content working for me. People have read content and the content has pushed people to come and find out who I am as the author of that content. If you're just starting out on LinkedIn and you're building up your network, You'll find that your activity around visiting profiles and deciding who you want to connect with and send connection requests will drive people to your profile. Also, we would encourage regular content posting because, again, that pulls people to your profile and they learn more about you. So you would see then as this is a nice steady curve going up. So at the moment, this is highlighting me because I'm more or less maxed out. You can have 30,000 contacts maximum on LinkedIn. After that, people can just choose to follow you rather than connect. And so that's the level that I'm at the moment. Now you'll see underneath, let me just drop down the screen there. It's showing me a list of people. These are all the individuals. So 14 minutes ago, 15 minutes, 17 minutes ago, 21 minutes ago, 27, 33. These people have been visiting my profile. Now, I will have a big range of people visiting my profile because of the webinars that we do and other events that we do. I get quite a varied audience will come. But in that, what I'm looking for is, am I attracting, on whole, on average, the right people? The right people for me would be CEOs and owners of companies, anything from the small business right up into the corporates, the sort of directors and people like that. Particularly people in sales, people in the marketing areas of business. These were the people I'm looking for. So where I see business advisor growth, company owner here, let's have a quick look around. Who else is? We've got head of transit and import operations. Let's have a quick look down. I'm just looking for some examples to highlight that. There's other people in there. We've got personal development. On the whole, I know that I'm attracting the right audience. If I came here, and even on the free version where I think you see the first 5 at the top, looking in there regularly, it gives you an idea, who am I attracting to my profile? If I come here and I look and I'm getting lots of garage mechanics or car mechanics and window cleaners, something's wrong in my profile. I'm attracting the wrong audience. So I need to change my profile. I need to change the type of content that I'm putting out because it's attracting the wrong audience. That's not who my ideal client is, or that's not my idea of who I want to work for in the future. If I'm looking to be recruited, if I'm looking to be a leading voice, am I reaching the right audience with my messaging? So use the information that's available to you to actually inform you what's going on. The other thing that I do in this area as well, there's a tip for you. If you're looking to do sales and prospecting, visit this page on a regular basis. Get a feel for the regular faces that keep coming backwards and forwards to your profile. If they're coming backwards and forwards a number of times and you see them 2, 3, 4 times over a week, there's something in your profile that's caught their attention and they keep coming back. There's some content that they keep engaging with that keeps bringing them back to your profile. So it's worth taking notice of who they are. I say that because I've got a gentleman here, and Ray, I don't know if you're on the call, but I've seen Ray S here backwards and forwards to my profile a number of times this week. So I've been visiting his profile, finding out a little bit about him, and we'll potentially connect with him over the next week and hopefully look to see what it is that's brought into my profile and which spark up a conversation. So take notice of what's going on. The other area that you want to be looking at, and let me just go back into the profile area itself. On that dashboard, where did that just go? I'm having a problem with I'm clicking, fingers are clicking the wrong things today. I've done it again, haven't I? I should really get myself a mouse. Okay. Let me just come down to the analytics there. Is the search appearances on this side? Now I can see right now that LinkedIn is misbehaving. If you're a regular on LinkedIn, you've probably seen this last couple of weeks, LinkedIn's got a little bit glitchy. There's a lot of updates going on the platform, and this is not unusual behavior for LinkedIn. Normally what would happen is I would see a graph very similar to what was going on the other side of how many search appearances I'm appearing in over, I think it's a 30-day period. For some reason, it's not generating that for me. Sorry, it's over a week period. It's the 1st of March to the 8th of March. It's 695 search appearances, so the number says that there's a healthy traffic of people who are finding my profile. What are the key words that they are looking for? What are the common words used in the search criteria of these individuals? Well, for me, the word is director. If I come back here in a couple of days' time, I'll see other things in there. Sometimes I see managing directors, I see sales, I see marketing, whatever those keywords are. They're the keywords that are in my profile. That's what somebody's been using. That's the common words that the searchers have been using to find me. Underneath then, it gives me a little bit of a rundown of who are the companies. Let me just scroll down the page. Who are the companies that are looking? Well, Maverick, I would expect, and our Maverick North America branch. Why? Well, we're always doing searches for various reasons and projects, working for ourselves and with our clients. Teradata is actually one of our clients, and so, you know, I would expect to see them up there. But I've got these other two, which I'm looking for the first time, even looking today. I have no idea who LHH is or Quint. And so for me, I might now go and check those companies out. Why are they looking at me? Why have they found me? What is of interest? These potentially could be customers in the future. So it's worth me taking some time to have a look at them and track them down. But overall, what I'm looking for is who is looking at me? What sort of companies are looking at me? Am I, again, attracting the right people to my profile? At the very bottom, you'll be given a list of the job titles of individuals. Now, for me, it's normally salespeople are at the top, and then I'll have the executive directors, the marketing specialists, founders, and business strategists. They're all the right types of people that I would have business conversations with, and the sort of people I want finding me on LinkedIn. So I'm happy with what I see. So use the information that's available to you. Let it inform you what's going on your LinkedIn profile. And if you're seeing the wrong results, you need to change something. You need to change your headline, you need to change your about section, you need to be thinking about the content that you're putting out, because it's appealing to the wrong audience. So think of all those things if you want to attract the right people. Okay, let me just nip back into the presentation and let me skip past the bits I've covered. Oh, I didn't mention the experience section. The experience section, here, my advice for your experience section, from a recruitment perspective, make sure that you're listing your last 3 employers and the roles that you had with those companies. You could go much further than I have, and actually you can put in some detail about the responsibilities you had and the achievements that you experienced whilst in those roles. All of that speaks of you. From my perspective, that's not why I'm here. I'm here from a sales perspective mainly. So I've got my literally my career journey is there. You can see it is, and for me it's very mixed. If you look through my experience section, you'll see that there's quite a mix of roles that I've had, which sort of speaks into my wide scope of experience that I've had throughout my career. But what I often say in this bit is don't be ashamed of past roles. And what I mean by that is that I've had some people who worked with me and they'll be in their later 20s and they say, look, I've had this one job and I've been here for 6-7 years. Actually, the job I had before this was McDonald's. Do I really want to put McDonald's on my profile? And I say, well, why not? One, it says that you can handle yourself in a fast-paced environment. You understand high turnover, the pressures of all of that. It still says something about you. Probably the best example I ever had was an individual we worked with who'd come out of healthcare. He was a male nurse, had been for many, many years, got disillusioned with the NHS here in the UK, and he moved into a sales role. The company he worked for helped medical device companies promote and get their products into the hands of buyers effectively. And so he was sat with a client one day. He's done his pitch and he's waiting to hear, does he get it or not? He gets the good news, he's got it. In the feedback from this client, they said, the reason that we chose you and your company is because when we looked at your profile on LinkedIn, we discovered that you had actually been on the front line as a healthcare worker. You've seen the devices and the sort of products and everything that we help people get to market, and so you understand where, where we're wanting to go. His past experience spoke into his future and what he was doing and helped him secure, which was a really big contract with this medical devices firm. So don't be ashamed of what you've done in the past. Don't go hiding it. Let people see. It talks of a journey of who you are as an individual, and you can see career changes, fast-paced environments to a slower pace. It all says something about you and gives people a bigger picture of who you are as an individual. Okay, covered the dashboard. Now, one of the things I do want to cover before we get to the end today is about security on your profile. What do I mean about that? Well, again, let me go to live LinkedIn and let me demonstrate what I mean by this. Let me just go to my network, and I want to find an individual. Hopefully I can find an example of this very, very quickly. Let's take Eve. Nope, Eve isn't an example. This is where I get the challenge now. I need to find somebody who's a good example. Let's have a look at Stefan. Oh no, I shouldn't pick Stefan. Stefan's actually been one of our clients recently, so he's already had this training. I need to find somebody who isn't, who's. Let's have a look at Jeremy here. No. Oh, it's just, normally I find within 2 or 3 hits, I'll find somebody, but if I struggle today, I will come back. Okay, who? I should always have an example ready, shouldn't I, of this? Let's have a look at Lynn. Hey, there we go. So Lynn is the fundraising lead at Dartmoor Zoo, which is not too far from where I am today. And you'll see on her profile here that her 500 connections are in blue. Any field that you see or lettering in blue on LinkedIn, it's a clickable field. So if I click in there, I'm now going to be looking at her connections. I can quickly filter them, just drop out there, and let's say she was my competitor. I'm not interested in the people I'm already connected to. I want to know, who does she know that I don't know? Who is she connected to that are potentially her clients or her prospects that could be also my clients and prospects? And so now I've got access to 435 of the individuals in her profile. People are doing this to you if your connections are open like this, and they're doing it all the time. So to protect your account, protect yourself from that happening to you, all you do is you go up to, oh dear me, I will get myself a mouse. Let me get out of there. Here we go. Go up to your profile, go to your settings. Once that opens up, come down to visibility. Once you're in visibility, just drop down to the 4th one, which says connections, and change that to no. The moment you change that to no, it grays out those wordings. It just says something like 500 plus connections. People can no longer come in, run around your profiling and having a look. Here's another tip as well. If you're wanting to go and have a snoop around competitors' profiles and competitors' networks and potentially do that exercise that I just talked about, then I recommend you use the option at the top here. If I click in there, it gives me the option to hide my profile information. So as I'm moving around, remember when I said that your face, your name and your headline will follow you everywhere on LinkedIn? You can actually mask that or hide that. So you've got the option at the top, it already defaults to full information available. Or I could click in and I would just appear as someone from Maverick. That's all they would ever know. Or I can go even further and just appear as anonymous LinkedIn member. So I can go and look at a competitor, look at an individual, look at a company, whatever, look around their contacts if they're open to be clicked into, and they would never know who it was. So just a little throwaway tip there. Okay, we've got a few minutes left. So does anybody have any questions? Anything that I can demonstrate, show, would help you? Let's have a little look there. Will there be a recording available afterwards of this? Yes, there is. We always make sure that there is a replay of this, which will be actually, if you register for the event, it'll be emailed to you. That link will be emailed to you, and you'll be able to do that. Big question, unless your employer pays for LinkedIn, how much control do they have over your content, your profile, personal and LinkedIn brand? Greg, that is a fantastic question. It was something that we were talking about internally here. It really is a mutual agreement between the two. The profile does belong to the individual. Now, if LinkedIn, so for Maverick, LinkedIn is essential. Because of the social selling activity we do, you need a profile on LinkedIn. So for some people, it could be a choice of, I want my own personal LinkedIn. This is me, my career and everything. But then I'll set up a second LinkedIn, which is, I'm literally going to talk about the company stuff. This is where I do my selling and my prospecting. It's not something I would recommend. I would always recommend having just one profile. But if people have that hang up about using their own personal one, then create a second one, which is your purely business with that company. You promote that company, you talk about that company, your content is company focused about the products and services. But should you leave that company, you can then leave that profile and continue with your personal. It is a preference, it is a choice. My personal opinion, I would always have one profile and let people see my journey. I focus on where I am at that time. And for me right now, it's all about Maverick. It's what I'm doing, everything. I want people to come to Maverick, find out about our products and services. So that's what I talk about, even though this is my profile. Questions. Looking up there, Ashley asked earlier, I have seen people adding what they do in their name fields too. Is this also against the terms? It's not against the terms. You can populate it with all sorts. I just think there's a point at which you start to look a little bit desperate on LinkedIn. When you start doing activities like that, you start using it for other reasons. One of the things that I didn't mention is on the profile is actually you can go in and you can do the pronunciation of your name. So if you've got a name that people struggle with, then you can actually talk and say your name as a recording and it'll be up there. I've seen people use that field to actually talk for 10 seconds about their company rather than pronouncing their name. Now for me that sort of undermines the person, because I'm thinking I came here wanting to genuinely know how do I pronounce your name, because I just want to be respectful, and what I found was an advert for your company. I wouldn't recommend it. Use the fields as they're purposed on LinkedIn. The only exception to that really is the headline, which the headline is long enough for you to put other information in as well as your job title, as long as you don't have this incredibly long job title. Let's have a look. What would you put on LinkedIn and what on your company website? Oh wow, that's almost another webinar in itself. But let me just quickly say, LinkedIn, the algorithm works in such a way it connects people to people, not people to entities or people to company pages. So you will find if you promote and push content out on a company page, it doesn't get much engagement at all. In fact, if you look at your own feed, how many times do you see a company post, a company that you follow, their content in your feed? Very, very rarely. If you want to get traction, if you want to get noticed, it pushes through your personal profile. All the content goes out there. So on your personal profile, you talk about your value proposition, you talk about how you help people, you talk about the differentiating factors of who you are and what you do. What are the solutions that you can bring to the problems that people have? You talk about all of these things. On your company page, it's a little bit more formal. So now you're talking, you've got maybe articles that talk more long form about those areas that you deal with. You might have case studies about your products and things like that. If you want, my best advice is go and check out Maverick's YouTube channel and look out for a webinar called Content That Creates or Content That Converts. In there you'll find lots of tips in that 1 hour session. It's a free session that will inform you all about what to put and where and how to put your message across, how from a personal perspective, how from a company perspective. Your company page, in essence, verifies who you are and gives a bigger picture. So the illustration being anybody who comes and finds me for the first time, they've never heard of me before, they've never heard of the company. For all they know, I'm just operating from a back bedroom at home. Until they hit the company page and then suddenly they get this bigger picture. They see how many people work in our company, they see how many, what sort of activity, the products and services that we provide, the support and backup that clients have when they work with Maverick. Now they've got a bigger picture of what I'm a part of. And that's a lot of how the company page really does work for you. Okay, any last questions? Let me just have a quick check. I see Haley Matthews is there in the chat. She's been putting up their email address, hi@maverick.io. If you've got any other questions, you want help in any area on LinkedIn, feel free, get in touch with us at Maverick. You'll find that we're quite generous with our time. We love to help people. Just get that little bit of a leg up, that little bit of help that you need on LinkedIn to make it work for you. You can also come to our website and discover all the other resources that we have and programs and courses that are available as well. I think we're almost at the end, and that's it. So come and get in touch with us, find out what's going on. Let me leave you with what I mentioned at the beginning. I said I would put up the information. If you want to, come and check this out. I think Haley should be putting up the link for the event in there. Go and check it out. Go and have a look. It's 3.5 hours. And as I normally say, we don't normally do any sales pitches, but this is a one-off. We've not done this in, I think we've only ever done it once during the actual pandemic period in the last 2 years. So we're doing this as a one-off on March the 23rd. And so I'd invite you to come. If you want to make LinkedIn really work for you and your business, this is 3.5 hours that will absolutely transform what you do on LinkedIn and will help you get the results that you're looking for. End of pitch. That's it from me. So all I want to say today is thank you very much for being with us. Thank you for staying engaged, and I hope what I've shared today has helped. Come and find me on LinkedIn, come and connect with me. Always happy to help where I can. But that's it for now. We're going to show just a quick promo at the end of this as we finish. But thank you very much, and I hope to see you on a future webcast.
Past year, Maverick has helped generate more than 15 million in new business. The biggest reason for this is our 90-day training and implementation platform we call the Accelerator Program, where we teach your team to sell on social media with an implement-as-you-go strategy. It's not a pre-recorded course, it's hands-on sales training that develops and grows with you, with 90 days of real action that generates business and long-term revenue. So who is it for? This program is for entrepreneurs, marketing and sales professionals who want to sell without ads, cold calling or pushy tactics. A better way of selling with real steps to take which speeds up your sales process without burning any bridges. These are just a few examples of results our members have achieved using the Accelerator. As you can see, the Accelerator isn't about quick wins, it's about building a better sales process. If you'd like to learn more, just book a call with the Maverick team and we'll show you how the Accelerator program can win you new business.